Mark Slane with the United States Krav Maga Association. Today, commenting on Kim Kardashian being robbed of $10 or $11 million worth of jewelry. Um, I tend to try to teach people when they see things like this on the news, don't just think, poor person, but to start mind setting for yourself. And anytime you read about a crime, think, what would I have done? Um, this keeps us from freezing. If we'd never thought of such a thing could happen, we're just going to sit there and scan. Have I ever been in this predicament before? How did I get out of it? And if we'd never trained or planned or anything, we'll just sit there scanning. A horrible example of this is years ago, the Luby's massacre, where an idiot drove his pickup truck through the front of the place, went around, shot people. I mean, lots of people. Like around 20 people died. And most of those people were just sitting at their table looking at him as he walked from person to person, shooting them in the head. And we can think, well, why didn't they at least run? Get up and run, do something, do anything. And the thing is, they were in midbrain, lizard brain. They couldn't plan. Really, they were sitting there looking, scanning. Did this ever happen to me before? How did I get out of it? And again, if they hadn't ever planned for such a thing, they were just sitting there. And that's exactly what happened. If they had any plan at all, even get up and run, that would have surfaced. So, when you see crimes like this, see horrible things that happen on the news, think, what would I have done? Therefore, your mind setting for yourself. But anyhow, getting to this, it sounds like, I don't know, if you travel and you take $11 million worth of jewelry with you, have the brains to have security around you at all times. This was either an insurance scam or just someone not too bright, in my opinion. It could certainly have been an insurance scam. The police even said it looks like it was an inside job. They knew the security was light that day and everything else. But anyhow, uh, thugs break into the room, tied her up, took her jewelry, is the story. Could have certainly went worse than that. I mean, if you've read about home invasions, and I certainly implore you to, they're horrifying. These recidivist pieces of scum will rape and torture your family and make you watch all night long before they kill you all. Horrible, horrible people do these things. So we absolutely have to have a plan. I teach a home invasion seminar where we tell people go home and do drills with your family, your little kids. You do home invasion drills. We do fire drills with our children. Home invasions happen 4 times more than fire drills, or than house fires. So we absolutely should be drilling these. Now, we don't have to make it scary. My kids, when they were small, they knew if we yelled, home invader, everybody scattered. Get outdoors, get out windows, go get help. The scumbag still may do something horrible, but he didn't have all night. He's got 5 minutes before the cops are there. So we're mind setting in case that horrible event ever happens. And again, it sounds like these people, they hadn't mindset it. They didn't have security around, even though they had millions of dollars worth of jewelry in their room. But again, the thoughts to me are always, don't allow yourself to be tied up. Don't allow it. We're going to fight. We're going to fight with all we've got inside of us. And it's going to end with somebody unconscious. And, I always tell my students, it's going to be the scumbags because you train. You train. Krav Maga isn't about all techniques for. This would be a good example. Evidently, there were several guys breaking into her room. What technique would have saved her? The only thing that was going to save her was to absolutely go crazy. You're throwing things, you're screaming, you're clawing, you're taking anything you can find and smacking people over the head. I've often said if a black belt in Muay Thai or BJJ or whatever came into my gym and wanted to scrap with me in front of my students, they'd probably kick my butt and I'd look stupid. If that same person was in my house and going to hurt my family, I wouldn't lose. I'd come from behind, I'd bust a chair over their head, I'd take one of the broken pieces of chair and slam it through their skull, see how far down their throat I could push it. When we're in these situations, it's time to go animal. There are no rules. Hitting from behind, hitting to the groin, taking people to the ground and stomping them. Again, the story is several guys broke in and she was by herself. That could have certainly been, rape, torture, and murder. And these are scumbags that do these things, so that's what I'm assuming is coming. I often ask, people that tell me that I'm teaching wrong, it's too brutal. I ask these martial artists, if you knew for a fact that you had a female in your class, she has a teenage daughter at home, she's a single mom, within about 4 months down the road, there will be a home invader in her house with plans on raping, torturing, and killing them all. Now, of course, we can't know this would happen, or we'd never allow it to happen. But say that's what we're training someone for. What are you going to teach her? How to break a piece of wood with a sidekick? How to do a kata? How to patiently grapple with somebody on the ground until you can submit them? The only thing that's going to save her is teaching her to go absolutely crazy, teaching her to fight like an animal. And this is why in class we put everything under chaos and stress and multiple attackers, realistic attacks. When this happens, I wanted to have prepared her as best as I can. I want her to grab things, hit this fool in the head, kick him in the groin, break his knee. When he hits the ground, stomp on the back of his head, pick things up, hit him with them, use weapons. That's the only thing that's going to save a person like that in that situation. Certainly not learning techniques. We just need to learn, work on people's attitudes and their fighting spirit, and teach them to go forward with rage and aggression, do the maximum amount of damage in the minimum amount of time, and do whatever it takes. There's no such thing as cheating or anything dirty when we're in that situation. So again, when you look at things like this Kardashian robbery on the news, start mindsetting for yourself. What would I have done in that situation? Mark Slane, United States Krav Maga Association.